today I will be discussing generic down 4. Down 4 is a move shared by a number of different characters within the cast. Lars, Heihachi, and Lee are just a few. They all have a slightly different notation, but it generally consists of down 4, down back 4, or maybe even down 3 plus 4, depending on who you're using. The move is 7 damage, it's minus 2 on hit, and minus 13 on block. Armor King also has his own variation of down 4 with very similar properties. However, it comes out at 14 frames, it's 9 damage, and it's also minus 13. But the hitboxes on that move are literally gigantic, and we're focusing on generic down 4. But Armor King also has one. Keep it in mind and study it. It's very, very useful. And you can probably apply similar aspects of the down 4 of Armor King to the ones I'm discussing right now. At first glance, down 4 doesn't seem that impressive as of a move because it leaves you minus on hit. It also reduces your movement options. And that alone is pretty discouraging. It also does like no damage. 7 points of damage is literally nothing. But reasons to use it is it's a true high crush. It comes out at literally 12 frames and has some homing in both directions. I'm gonna give a few examples to make it a little bit more clear cut. For example, Lee has many powerful counter hits and the infamous down 3 that formerly had some homing in both directions in season 1 and 2. It's a disgusting counter hit launcher nonetheless. However, it's launch punishable on block, and all his other lows leave Lee standing aside from the ones that he's already crouching, like full crouch 4 and slide, excluding forward 4, but that's not the same. He has no reliable high crushes that don't get him launched by the majority of the cast. Now, this is where Lee's generic down 4 comes in. It actually has the notation of down back 4. It's a low that high crushes, interrupts offense, and doesn't get you blown up if it's blocked, like down 3. On hit, you avoid the highs, and you can do a full crouch down forward 4 if they want to jab you, or you can do Lee's while standing 3 that beats down forward 1s because it comes out at 10 frames. So you have a pretty good, solid, full crouch game after hitting a generic down 4 if you have a good read with Lee. Moving on to my second example, Heihachi also must utilize his down 4 because every standing low Heihachi has gets him launched. Down back 2, hell sweep. Even the small tiny poke of down back 3 is launch punishable. He's similar to his son Lars in that regard. His lows need to be used with care. So this low down 4 allows Heihachi to clip their ankles without killing himself. But then again, ducking Heihachi is a bold move. On hit, opponents need to be careful with mindlessly throwing out jabs because Heihachi has a while standing 2 that will do this. In general, Mishimas don't have good escape moves, well, most of the time. So they have to rely on fundamentals, and without question, down 4 is a low that must be utilized by Heihachi. Now for my final example, I will be discussing Lars. He is similar to Heihachi where a majority of his lows are launch punishable or can be easily stepped to his weak side, which is the right. So for Lars, it's a move that can clip quick step. It's his safest high crushing low, and he has some unique and strong options from full crouch. Like while standing 2 catches steps in both directions, as well as very reliably goes under any jab. Unlike the other lows in Lars's arsenal, this one is one of the few that leave him minus on hit. Opponents usually want to take their turn back, so you can use that to your advantage and use his Lars' strong, evasive tools as well as his movements to punish fast retaliation. Characters like Dragunov, who have the godly down too, that has some tracking in both directions and has some godly counter hit properties and only leaves them at minus 13, really don't need to use moves like down 4. But for the rest of the cast that isn't as blessed by the Tekken gods, they will find some use in down 4. Not as intimidating, but has some similar uses. Hopefully you guys learned something from this down 4 tutorial, and maybe you can find some use for it in your gameplay. And I will see you all next time.